Alrighty, everyone. So today I've got a little bit of a different type of knife review overview video today. So we're gonna actually take a look at some Miguron knives that my good friend G-Ball has already done a compare-contrast video on himself. So what's going to be fun is we're going to try to watch his video as I compare the knives myself and see if G-Ball and I agree or disagree or you know, are at a stalemate with each other without him even being here. So we're just gonna go off of his video on these two knives. So I thought this would be fun. I thought this would be interesting and you know, something different. So so let's go for it, shall we? This is G-Ball. And he's comparing two incredible knives of the year, the Miguron Moyarl and the Miguron Centurion. So, excellent knives. I have both of them here myself. This is the Moyarl, and then this is the Centurion. And let's go ahead and watch G-Ball's video. And I'm going to stop and pause and give my 2 cents on what he says, and yeah, we'll just go with that.
Miguron Centurion and the Miguron Moyarl. The Miguron Moyarl, let's start with that one first. This made a huge splash in the budget market earlier this year.
Kinda, sorta.
Raved about, and for good reason. It is a fantastic EDC knife.
It's solid.
At a wonderful
it's a pretty solid knife, especially for the price.
Doing a versus here, but this is going to be more of a traditional battle than a.
Both are in 14C28N, by the way.
These knives are so comparable.
They are. They really are very comparable.
Top to bottom, that it wouldn't really be fair to do a list, you know, like we typically do a battle. So
why not?
I figured it would go through both of these.
Just messing with you, G-Ball.
Come to a conclusion. Now this will be my bias, my opinion, of course, but I will try to do my best to take myself out of it. I do have both. I did buy both of these knives with my own hard-earned money.
So did I. So did I.
Really, is no winner or loser for me in this situation. And in their own right, they are both fantastic knives. So the Moyarl
very much
several months back, and at under $50, it was and is a fantastic knife.
For under 50 bucks. Yeah.
G10 handles.
It's pretty freaking fantastic. Good access to the liner lock. Good action. Yep, got the titanium milled clip.
To the liner there, and they chamfer it. It has incredibly good action. Your only means of deployment are the opening hole there, but it works absolutely.
Yep, both ways, thumb
you have this nice
and finger.
drop point blade, fairly low tip.
Very easy to get.
Be a great user blade shape, no question about it. It's actually a relatively good size. We'll go ahead and just pull the roller out here.
Yeah, we're gonna skippy the ruler. They're just a hair over 3 inches.
Point precision cuts, great ergos. It's
very comfortable, good ergos for sure. Forward choil on the Moyarl here. You definitely get a usable forward choil because of the way that they do the that part of the handle right there by the underneath the pivot. So yeah, very usable forward choil. Not worrying about cutting yourself on the inner edge there. So yeah, they did a fantastic job on this knife. If you like the forward choil on a folder, good comfort, both grips, forward and back. Yeah, I got the tan one, and then Rit dyed using a dark red, and so I ended up with like a very earthy brown, very interesting earthy brown color. Very cool, very much like it. The color came out great. I really like this, a lot better than the tan.
But they definitely need clean.
And sure enough, when I did the Rit dyeing process, I lost one of the cage bearings somewhere because I had to move my workspace where I had it taken all apart. I had to move it from the kitchen to one of my tables to it ended up on my bathroom counter next to my sink. So at some point in time, somewhere along the way, I lost one of the cage bearings. So I had to order, and first time ever ordering and installing some skiff bearings. So these are skiffs in mine, and I would say from when I unboxed it to now with the skiffs, it's marginally better action. Definitely a little more drop shutty smooth, but not that huge of a difference, which really says a lot about Migurons' bearings. Their bearings are really nice. If upgrading to skiffs is not that much of an upgrade. So all right, let's see what he says about the Centurion. No skiffs in this one. These are Migurons' bearings on mine. He jumped on it immediately. I do like the swoop right here for thumb placement. That makes it really comfortable. Really locks you in between the flipper tab being there and the thumb ramp right there. Totally locks you into this grip. I mean, you hang on to this sucker strong and it's not going nowhere. Very comfortable. The scales are contoured a little bit on the Centurion, which is different from the Moyaro. So it just depends on how much thinner you like it to be in and out of the pocket. Very tiny amount of difference there. Yeah, they really do a much better job on the G10 on these contoured handle scales versus the Moyaros, kind of the flat scales with that particular texture pattern. You kind of get more with the it's grippy and it looks nice and it feels good in hand. Being contoured like that with that kind of a G10 finish is really nice, and I think it makes the G10 look higher, a little more premium in quality. Whereas when you go with the flat scales, you end up doing this texture job for the surface so that you get that same grip, that same textury grip. But when you do that, you definitely lose the look, the more premium look of the smooth, where you can see all the layers of the G10 because it's been contoured. So yeah, you lose that with the flat scales, but I mean, it's just it goes with your preference. Do you like the flat scales like this, or do you like the contoured? The look, I would say, is definitely in high favor of the contoured scales. But I mean, it's really the same material, right? The same G10 material. I don't see them using different batches. It's just the way they finish it. And that's what G-Ball's kind of talking about here.
It just doesn't. This has like stippling done in it, and it provides some nice texture.
But you lose the look of the
where this is more softened, more finished, in my opinion. The edges are nicely knocked down and chamfered, where these are more blocky. And this knife is fantastic, so don't get what I'm saying twisted up. It's just
don't get it twisted.
Down to the finishing of the Centurion.
Just like I said too. It comes down to just what your preference is with the finish.
A touch more than the Moyaro. The only spot the Moyaro for me has any type of advantage is you can get right up behind the blade with that finger choil. I really enjoy that. I like that. But
yeah, it's nice, but at the same time,
for me, it doesn't make or
this really, the thumb ramp on the Centurion really locks you in between the thumb ramp and the flipper tab here at the bottom, and it's got the jimping right there too. So I mean, that just really locks you in. And this is obviously, this is not a forward choil, usable choil. This is a sharpening choil. Yeah, I would not do that. That's a no-go for me. Sorry, that's an awkward way of holding it. I'm going to 90% of the time using this knife, I'm going to do this grip right here. Would not do that, not do that. That's a little too pokey. Yeah, no. This is the grip all day long. Otherwise, it's a pinch grip like this.
It's incredible for $50
for those kind of cuts. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on with my pinky and this finger, mostly my pinky, really just locking, squeezing between my pinky and my palm there, and that really locks my fingers in place for those type of cuts.
It'd be heavy. It would not be.
Yeah, again, both of these are freaking bangers, out of the park, fantastic knives. And the thumb studs on this one are nice for all your flicking, just very basic, rounded thumb studs. No hot spots on them, you know, it's not jabby or pokey, doesn't hurt your fingers, even under flicking. And I get my damn other finger out of the way. Yeah, totally good thumb studs. And the flipper tab works wonderfully for the weight of the blade and the detent. They dial down their detents really good on these Migurons. Miguron has no problem with the action and the detent on their knives. I've not handled one of their knives that has an issue there.
And it would last and hold up and be wonderful for you that whole entire time. Both have 14C.
And you think I talk too much? This dude, he just keeps going on and on. I love you, G-Ball. Oh, he's an awesome dude. I love this guy.
And I'm just a huge fan of 14C 28N.
It is a great steel. I agree. It's an awesome steel. I'm so glad so many companies shifted to 14C 28N and we not get overwhelmed by the amount of D2 out there.
Same materials. The Miguron is.
He really likes the Stormtrooper black and white look. That's not so much my deal.
This is coming in.
I like Star Wars. It's good franchise, good movies, good stories, but I'm not crazy about it.
This one's coming in at 7.5. So you're getting close to.
Yeah, the Centurion is just a hair bit larger of a knife for sure. So I mean, overall, it's like for me, the deal breakers would be: do you prefer the forward choil, and the flatter scales, or do you prefer a more locked-in dominant grip and the contoured scales? To me, it's that you got to make that decision. Oh, freaking StreamYard commercial! Go away. So yeah, it would be that preference and the thumb stud versus the thumb hole. What is your preference there? So yeah, those are your deciding factors. I don't see any other factor because they're both freaking fantastic in every other aspect, just as good as one of another. You just got to make that decision based off of forward choil and flat scales, or no forward choil, contoured scales with the thumb ramp that really locks you in. It's that, and then the thumb hole or thumb stud. Those are the deal breakers between these two when you make that deciding factor. But yeah, either one of them, they're awesome. Awesome knives. G-Ball is right on the money on that one. I can't say I disagree with anything particularly that he's saying. He and I actually, we jam pretty well together, our train of thoughts on knives, and as far as what we like and what we don't like with things. he and I could, man, we haven't done it in a while, but we could talk for hours and hours
just has that little extra
about stuff
to it that the Migurons does not have. I would love to see this knife in a premium form, titanium and like S90V, keep it a liner lock. That would be just absolutely outstanding, because I love this knife. And like
I would actually love to see these scales, this type of scale on this knife. I'd be really interested to see what that would do, if how much it would possibly improve the ergos, if any at all, and just give it an overall nicer look. You could do a multicolored G10 too, and do the contoured scales on the Migurons. That would be interesting.
They'd be a great 1-2 punch. But at the end of the day, one wins it for me.
He wins it because again, he likes the nicer, slightly more premium look that this type of G10 gives. That's why he preferences it, and probably because it's just it feels and is just a hair bit larger of a knife, a little bit more grip and better grip, having the contoured scales, and the blade is just a hair bit longer. And he's kind of like me right now. He's a little bit more leaning towards your larger blades, your well over 3-inch blades. He and I have both kind of gotten away from the smaller pocket knives for the time being. Although, of course, he would also say with me that, you know, if a small knife with fantastic materials and super good ergos pops up for a great price, that would be hard to say no to. We'd both be getting it. And I actually just recently did that. Not going to give away which one, but I'll mention that when I do the video on it. So yeah, new knives are coming. These two are both fantastic, super great knives. You just got to make those deciding factors on those couple of little things as far as what would your preference be, but you can't go wrong with either one. And it's kind of fun to have both. It really is. I'm not going to get rid of either one of these. They're fantastic knives. Great users, great everyday EDC carries, and you can't go wrong. Just can't go wrong. So alright, thank you G-Ball sir. Appreciate you beating me to the chase again. He's such a hard worker when it comes to his channel. Stop.
Interested to hear what you have to say. Am I completely off balance with this one?
Let me know if he and I are both completely off and you disagree with everything. Let me know. I'm curious. I'm curious if there's anybody that would disagree. But yeah, so if you aren't subscribed to G-Ball, which everybody probably is and should be, rightfully so, because this dude puts in the work for his videos and getting content out to us to check stuff out before we make our purchasing decisions. He's a great dude. He's working really hard at everything that he does for both his channel, the G-Ball channel, as well as Dr. Prepper is his other newer channel where he is diving into the other EDC outdoorsy preparedness type gear. You know, where he talks, you know, does more of the flashlights and the fire starters and you know, little small backpacks and packs and organizers and that kind of stuff. I do that too, but he's kind of diving into that rabbit hole and cranking out a lot of videos there as well. So check out both of his channels that he's got if you haven't already, if you don't already, and let me know in the comments what y'all think about these knives. Yeah, and like I said, both of them, great price, great materials, great fit and finish, action, ergos are butter, right on the money. Gotta love them, gotta love them. Miguron, you can't go wrong with Miguron. They crank out really stellar stuff. So, that's all I got for y'all today. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!